Alrighty, APUSHers, with 5 days left before the APUSH exam, this is what I would do to make sure that I was prepared. Today, I want for you to review the domestic issues in the United States between 1945 and 1980. So that's period 8. So this is something that hopefully you've learned in class really recently. So hopefully you don't need to spend a lot of time reviewing this. So let's just break it down. What are the things happening in the United States during this period that you should be aware of? So first, let's talk culture. You want to be familiar that after World War II, there's this period of mass cultural based on consumerism and conformity. And so you want to kind of look at what were some of the aspects of that. Things like the suburbs, the growth of, purchasing items to help in the home, like home appliances, that sort of thing. Then there's this growth of the counterculture that develops. So first, it's the beat movement. You may or may not be familiar with that one, but you likely are more familiar with the counterculture in the 60s and 70s, more in line with the hippies. So then we want to be thinking about the growth of religion in the 70s and moving into the 80s. And so that would also kind of fit into that time period. Next, let's talk about the politics that are changing at this time. So we see, kind of a bit of a back and forth with the various political parties, but their platforms are really changing, especially as you get closer to the 1970s. We see the rise of conservatism. So you should be able to identify the causes for that rise of conservatism. Also in this whole, theme of politics, we can think about the political rights of various groups of people. So this is really where that civil rights movement is going to fit in. So being familiar with what the civil rights movement for African Americans, what their goals were, what they were actually able to achieve in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, how the movement changed over time would be helpful. And then additionally, how the civil rights movement then expanded to other groups. The College Boards list several other groups that you should be familiar with. You should be familiar with Asian Americans, American Indians, the feminist movement, the LGBTQ plus movement, and the Latino movement, which at the time was called the Chicano movement. So that's kind of in the politics area. And then the economic changes you want to be familiar with. One of the programs you should really think about is the Great Society with LBJ. That one shows up on the AP exam frequently. You should also think about the economic crisis of the 70s with international events like OPEC and the energy crisis leading to a recession in the United States. So there you have it. Those are some of the domestic affairs that you should be familiar with just a bit, but hopefully you've learned them recently, so it won't be too much of a review for you. So today, May 5th, 2024, we are 5 days out from the APUSH exam, and today I would review the domestic affairs in period 8.